Hi everyone, this impressive stock market continues. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the New York Stock Exchange, showing you that it was up 0.10% today. Volume was lower than the day before, but once again, as you can see, our oscillators are working off overbought conditions. MACD is trending lower, rolling below its moving average, and now heading down. And what's impressive is, despite this, we are rallying. That's a pretty good indication that there should be more of this in store going into the year end. This is a very impressive action overall. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, same thing. You can see that the MACD and TSV are coming off the highs, yet we keep drifting higher. Beautiful, beautiful. The only thing that's missing is volume and any sort of liquidity whatsoever, because when you get outside the level one quotes underneath, there's not much showing there. I hope the dark pools are full of liquidity, because it doesn't look like it whenever you look at the level twos. But overall, S&P 500, same thing. Working off those overbought conditions, starting to roll over in the MACD, TSV. Everything looking good. The more important indexes that we follow, the Nasdaq, same thing, up 0.56% today. Volume was actually higher than the day before. And when you open near your lows and you close near your highs, I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that. Above average, below average, it just doesn't matter. So this is very good. Russell 2000 also below average volume. A big day, up 1.13%. And as you can see, even with the pullback, we're still fully invested, just rotating out of laggards into leaders, and so that's impressive. We've come off the overbought conditions quite well. And now looking at the 20-10-10 stochastics that I use, I love these stochastics. You can see that they work very, very well overall, just even in the short term, but longer term too. You can see we continue to work off the overbought conditions in Russell 2000. Nasdaq, we're rolling below. Nasdaq 100, we're starting to roll below, and S&P 500, same thing. NYSE, same thing. Dow Jones Industrial Average, same thing. But the main thing to consider is, though, we're just now starting to roll below the moving averages, so chances of us just plowing on higher and higher and higher from here is very low. But still, the backing and filling should hold up overall, because once again, on the weeklies, you can see here, we're nowhere near overbought. We're nowhere near overbought on the Nasdaq or the Russell 2000 on the weekly. So overall, the market looks good. As for actionable signals today, early on I did have some sell stops that were on the book. I tightened up my Baidu sell stop following this day here on the 17th, and so half of Baidu was hit. Also, another 25% of LDRH was hit intraday, and that left us with just 25% of the remaining position. However, by the close today with that big bar, LDRH is a full sell. That is our only full sell, so it's great that my intraday stop got hit, because that was like right around, I think, 33.25, so 32.72 close is going to be good. And obviously my last sell stop was right below this low, 32.11, so we'll get out of it before that emergency one is hit. And then also, unfortunately, but it's going to happen, it's going to happen, FFIV was partially gotten out of some of that. Now remember what I told you, whenever you're in a good stock and you get your sell stop gets hit and you relook at the chart and it looks good, you add it back. So FFIV, if you want to, you can add it back. Me, what I would suggest doing, I'm not going to add it back yet, because it might still want to consolidate before breaking out. So I'm going to set buy stops just above this intraday high of my long position. If it can get above 128.93 by 10 cents, so 129.03, it will be good to go as a re-add to the sold position intraday. But it's going to happen. But FFIV is the only one I would not want to be off by the end of the day. Baidu, even though it is holding up and looks good, the fact that it closed down today means I don't want to really put it back on. And then the only mistake made today in the morning, took my eye off GMCR, because after hours last night, it got back up to like 153. It was like 152.85, was hitting 153. Thought it would be fine in the morning, so I didn't even look. If I would have seen it was opening up at 150, below the low a day of 153.50 overall by, a few dollars, definitely would have been a 25% sell. As it is, though, I still would have thought that it probably would have bounced back and rallied higher, because it's a strong market. It didn't. It continued to sell off on very heavy volume. Good news is there's an intraday tail, closed above the 50-day moving average. Bad news is it's below the 10 and 20-day moving average on well above average volume in red bop. so that's a 50% sell. This stock hasn't really worked out well anyway since going long. I believe we had to get rid of half at some point around here with a small loss, so we only had half of our original position. Now we got to get rid of another half with only an 8% gain in a little over 2 months. Very disappointing overall action in GMCR, but it happens. So that's a 50% sell. Stocks on watch for potential raising sell stops. EA gonna have, I believe, one of my sell stops like here, and then I have the emergency one over here. Well, now it's just gonna be the lows here. Not sure which day exactly it is, but 4010. So 4010 looks like, yep, 4010 is going to be one low, and then the next one is going to be the day before the breakout day. So it's going to be probably right around 4120. But I want to go ahead and move it up because even though it didn't lose anything today, it's closing lower than where it opened on well above average volume following 2 big breakout days. So I just want to go ahead and just be careful about that. And CPHD already have it up close, but just let you guys know it's on watch as a stock that's not performing too well. That might be a sell. So what are the new longs? Well, there's actually FLT was a pocket pivot point signal yesterday. Did not set the buy stops. Whoops. If you want to get long FLT, you can. In my opinion, I'd be chasing now, so I'm not going to get long. But that is one to consider. But the 2 new long positions tonight come from GBX. GBX is a canceling quality name, and it is also a perfect speculator stock. I do believe this is a perfect speculator one. Hold on, let's check it out really quick. I don't know sometimes which ones are pre and then the regular ones, so let's just see if GBX or LNG is in here. GBX is in here, LNG is in here. Okay, so both are perfect speculator stock scans, which just gives them more credit. LNG is not a canceling stock, but LNG is a perfect speculator stock scan, and as you can see, looks to be having great support and has been building on a base nicely. Now closing above the 50-day moving average on an uptick in volume. High quality stock being in the scan, so it has to be taken as a long position. But LNG, long position. Sell stop below the low of the day today, or you could use this level right here, 70.10, and then this would be your ultimate final sell stop level right here. These lows around 68.75 on LNG. GBX also retaking the 50-day moving average and doing so with a pocket pivot point buy signal. Gotta love that. You could have one sell stop below these lows, another one right below this day low, and then your ultimate final one, if you really, really, really believe in the stock and have a high risk tolerance, you can use the lows of 11.4, but I don't think I would dare hold it that low. I mean, I just wouldn't put my sell stop there. And then we do have one ad, ANGO. But before I go there, I want to just give another ad signal. PANW was in my cancel stack scan. And as you can see also right here, is also in my perfect speculator scan. And then, as you can see, it only has 25 stocks, and all 3 of these longs would have been from here. But PANW has earnings on the 24th. We are already long from a position that doesn't show us much of a gain. So adding to the position without much of a gain ahead of earnings seems too dangerous for me, so that's a pass. But I got an ad signal in ANGO. Unfortunately, the plan was set buy stops above the 1723 level, because technically if this would have closed near the high of the day with the pocket pivot point signal and still having green bop, it would have been add signal. But because it closed so far off the high of the day, I didn't add it. All I wanted to do was close above 1723. It did at 1730. I believe I'm going to use limits around 1725 because 1730 seems a little high above really where I wanted to get it, which would be 1714, 1715. If I do 10 cents above 1713, I get 1723. If I'm afraid the stock won't pull back to 1723, give it a couple more cents to 1725, which is only 5 cents off the close. The stock doesn't really gap up and run a whole lot without pulling back intraday, and with futures currently showing that they're gapping down a little bit, I think 1725 will be a good area to have a limit. If I see the stock gapping up at all in the morning, I'll move the limit up to 1730. Thank you.